Hi friends, welcome back. In today's session we are going to perform CRUD operations in Blazor web application. I am going to use Visual Studio 2022. I am going to create a new project here. Here you can select the Blazor web application. Click on next. This is my project name. I am going to store this project in this directory. This is my solution name. Click on next. Here we can select the latest .NET framework. Here interactive render mode, you can select server, WebAssembly or auto. For this session we are going to select the server. In interactivity location you can select per page component. Click on create. Our project has been created. Go to the solution explorer. Here I am going to create one model. Let me create folder first. We are going to store all data entities inside this. Let me create one class file product. Here I am going to define the properties. I will make this as GUID. This is going to be ID, then say product name, then I will make it as double price. Quantity. We are going to use these four properties to perform the CRUD operations. For this session we are going to use the entity framework. Let me install the required packages. Right click on the solution and go to the manage NuGet packages. Here you can search for entity framework core. Let me select entity framework core, install, accept, and let me use the design and SQL Server. We are going to use the database as SQL Server, and for the design also we need to install. We are not going to write any pages here, so we are going to use the scaffolding mechanism. Let me install the entity framework core.design. Now we can see the initial project, how it looks. Let me run the application. This is the default project, comes in the Blazor. You can click on counter. This is on link. You can click on this button, so it will increment. Also they are giving one weather forecast for sample. So let me go here. So this is the default layout of Blazor application. Here we are going to add one nav link to display our product. Let me go to the project, go to the components, layout. In the nav menu item we can go here. We don't want this counter and weather. Let me remove this. Here I am going to add our nav link. I will change this to product. Here I can change this to product. Now we need to generate the pages for our product model to perform CRUD operations. We are going to use the scaffolding mechanism. Go to the components, right click, add. Here you can select the new scaffolded item. Here we can select razor component. So here we can select razor component using entity framework CRUD. It will generate razor components dynamically. Let me click on add. Here this is our template. If you want to perform all CRUD operations, you can use the template as CRUD. If you want individual also, we can select create, edit, delete, details and list. For this session I am going to select CRUD. We need all the operations. Also here we have to select our model. This is our model product, which is inside the project.models, so it's available inside models folder. Also we need DB context class to communicate with the DB server. So currently we have not created any database context. Let me click on this new data context. So here I can change it as my app DB context. This is my context name. Let me add it. Here we have to provide the database provider. We are going to use this SQL Server. Let me click on add. So by using this code generation.design, it's going to generate scaffolding items, so we can customize based on our requirement. This is one of the process we can do it. In future we are going to perform CRUD operations without using this scaffolding mechanism. So now all Razor component has been generated. You can go to the solution explorer, expand the pages. Here we can see product pages. Inside this we have all Razor components for create, delete, details, edit and index. So now we can go to our data folder. We can check our DB context. Here this is our DB context. Now go to the app settings.json. Here it is using the local DB. Instead of local DB, I want to provide my SQL Server connection so that we can directly create our database in our SQL Server. This is my SQL Server. Let me copy this server name. I'll replace the server name here. The DB name as this. Here I'll change the database name. This is my database name. Instead of using the Windows authentication, I'm going to use SQL Server authentication. Let me provide user ID and password. Here I'll add is true, so I'm enabling trust server certificate. We are going to use HTTPS so that it will not throw any errors. Now by using this app DB context, we have to register the DB context. Since we use scaffolding mechanism, it is already registered here. Let me go to the package manager console. Let me install one more package on this project. Go to the manage NuGet packages. Here I need to install entity framework core.tools because we are going to use the code first approach. So it's already installed. Add migration. This is my initial migration. Build succeeded. I'm updating the database. Okay, here user ID we provided wrong. Let me go to the app settings.json. Let me correct it. I'll go to the package manager console again. I'll update the database now. So this time it is completed. So this is our database name. Let me go to the SQL Server. Let me refresh it. I can see here database has been created and the product table with all required columns has been created. Now we can go to the Solution Explorer, Components, Pages. This is our product pages. Let me run the application. Click on product. So there is no product, it's products. Yeah. So let me go to the nav menu. Here we gave it as product, it should be products. Let me click on create new. I'll give the product name here. Click on create. The product has been created. Let me add one more product. Click on edit. Instead of price 54,000, I want to change this. Save. It's updated. Let me try one more product. Save. The price has been updated. We can click on details and we can see the product details. When we have more columns, we cannot display in the index page. In that case, whenever user clicks on details page, we can show all the details. Let me go back to the list, click on delete. So this will be the confirmation message. User has to check this product need to delete or not to delete. So based on the confirmation, we can click on the delete or we can go to back to list. Again, I'll go to the delete, click on delete button. So product has been deleted. We can customize these labels and the buttons. Let me go to the design. I'll close all these tabs. Index page. Instead of showing as anchor tag, so here we can add bootstrap classes. I'll show it as button. Also here we can change this. Here also we can change. So likewise we can go to the create page. Here we no need of here back to list. Also I can change style. Let me copy this. So let me reload the page again. So here we can see the buttons. Let me click on edit. So back to list is available. Back to list. You can customize few things here. Create. Instead of showing here, let me move. Click on edit. Now this is perfect. Back to list, details, delete. So this is perfect. Now let me explain the code, how it's generated. Let me save all the pages. So let me explain the process, how we implemented these all the components. First we created one models folder. This is the product model which we created. This is our database entity. We have created these 4 columns and we created database context and all components by using the scaffolding mechanism. By using scaffolding mechanism, all components has been generated related to our product page. To generate this scaffolding, right click on the components, add, click on new scaffolded item. Here we need to select the Blazor component, then select the Blazor components using entity framework CRUD, then click on add. So here we have to select the template as CRUD operations. I need all CRUD operations, that's why I selected CRUD. If you want individual options, then you can select. If you want to perform only create, then you can select create and select the model class. Here in our case we selected as CRUD, then selected the database entity name. Here in that case it's a product. Then we created one DB context. Currently we have database context. If you have already created DB context, then you can select it here, or else you can click on new data context and you can give the meaningful name for your data context and you can click on add. So based on the database context, here we have to select the database provider. In my case I am going to use SQL Server, so you can select the SQL Server. Finally you have to click on add, so that it will generate all the components related to product and it is stored in product pages. So here we can go to the index.Blazor first. So this is the page we are going to use, products. Here we can add the all the namespaces here. So this is the models folder where our product database entities available, and here we are creating DB factory. So this is our app DB context, we are calling as DB factory. So we are injecting all this. If you want, you can move all these namespaces into your import section, so that we no need to add every time. So now added into this. Here we are displaying the data by using quick grid. So these are all the columns we have inside our product model. We are going to add all the data. If required, we can add ID also here. Currently we don't have ID. I am going to add product ID also. Let me run the application again. Click on product. Now we can see our product ID also. Let me go to the database and we can see these details. So this is our product table. Let me go to the new query. We can write select query here. Execute. So this is the product which we are showing in our application. Let me create one more product. Create it. So product has been added. Go to our database, click on execute. Newly created product has been added here. So let me explain the create component here. Here we no need to add these packages, already we added into the imports, so that it will be commonly referred to all the components. Here we are calling create component, which is available inside this page. Okay, so here again we are initializing the app.db context, we are injecting it. Whenever user is submitted, we are going to add the product, so this model will be product, so it's going to create. So this add product will be available in the code side. Here we are attaching our product model. Whenever user clicks on submit, the data will be assigned to this product model, so that we can save into the our database. So this method is responsible to save the data into our database. Here we are calling the context, and we are adding the context.product to this product, which is received from the user input. So we are getting all the data here assigned to this property, and we are going to save into database here. So once it is saved, we are navigating to products, that is index page we are navigating by default. Let me go to the edit component. So here we can remove this, and here we are going to call edit. So here also db context is initialized. When there is product is null, it will show it as loading the products. Here we are going to call on submit update product method, which is written here. So whenever user is clicks on update, so here we are taking the id, this id will be assigned here, so this is id, and we are going to get the data from all these controls, and we are assigning into this property. Based on this id, we are going to get the data. If product is null, again we are showing it as not found. If it is not null, it will be updated into database. This is the update product method. So here we are attaching state as modified, and we are saving the changes. If there is any concurrency exceptions, we are going to throw the error message. Once the data is updated, we are going to navigate to products, that is index razor component will be called. To check the concurrency exception, we are going to check this product is available or not. So product ID is we are tested, and we are going to update the data. Maybe parallelly some other user may be updating this record, and they may be deleted. So in that case, we will get the db update concurrency exception. So in that case, to handle that situation, this method will be called. Then go to the details component. Here also we can remove it. Here we are assigning all the properties, and based on the id, we are going to load the data. Finally, we have the delete component. Let me remove these namespaces. Here also we are initializing the db context. At the time of initial loading, the product may not be available. So in that case, we are going to show this message to the user. It's loading. Once it's loaded, so it will be binded for the each property. So this is the code we are writing in Blazor pages. When the page is initialized, we are calling this method, and we are going to get the data based on this id, and we are going to display in the delete razor component. Once user is submitted on delete product, so this will be called, and the product has been removed from the database. Each page we will be having the initialize method. Whenever page is loaded at first time, so this method will be called, and the data will be binded to the assigned properties. So the data will be assigned to the each property. Likewise, edit also we will be having initialize method. Run the application, and we'll see how this data is calling. Let me keep debug point here. Also here we will update one product, and we'll see how it's working. So if there is any exception, only this product exists method will be called. Let me run the application in debug mode. Click on product. So here we are assigning the ID for each row. We can see here ID is showing. Let me click on edit. So when it is edit component is called, by default on initialize method will be called. Let me continue. Here DB context is initialized. So it's going to check based on the ID whether the product is null or not. Let me continue. We can see product is not null here. We have the data with this ID. Let me continue. So now it will be called here and it is setting the data for product. It's getting the data and finally it is displayed. Let me update here. Click on save. Whenever user clicks on save, again it comes to the code block. It will set the each component value to this product. Let me go and see here. Quantity is updated to 11. So again it will update the product. So we can see here, since we don't have any concurrency, it's not hitting to product exists method. Like this we can perform CRUD operations in Blazor web application. That's it for today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.